Donnie, you are live.
Woo! Live.
We don't have anybody in the stream yet, though.
Well, they'll get here.
We figured it was Sunday, so when we're down here, we'll start doing some live streams for just a few minutes. See if anybody pops in and wants to talk to Donnie.
Might not want to talk.
The car's hissed by my window. We got our first person popping in.
Hello, how are you?
All right, so we are, hey, Aloe, they say hi. We are over here in one side of the grocery store because we already did the other side of the grocery store. It's blocked off by that wall. Hey, OSCRC, the OSCRC says, hey, Donnie.
Hello, how are you, sir?
That wall behind there is where, on the other side where he'll like how the electrical box looks. He's an electrician. We're done over on the one side of the grocery store. So now we're over here working on the other side of the grocery store. Thank you, buddy. And we decided we'd go live for just a few minutes in case anybody had any questions for Donnie. He said nothing about his love life. He's planning on writing a book about all of that down the road. So he doesn't. He can't answer anything like that right now, but look forward to the book coming out. So if anybody's got any questions about Donnie or the town, type them in the chat, and if we see him, we'll try to answer them. If we don't see him, type it again. We'll tell you if he doesn't want to answer. He's very shy, you know. Donnie's really shy. A lot of people don't know that about that.
Very, very, very shy.
Which truck are you talking about? OC, SRC? He said, how is his truck?
I think he's talking about your truck.
No, he's talking about your truck, I think.
No, I think he's talking about your truck over there.
No, I bet he's talking about your truck. He said, how is his truck?
Okay, well, my truck's good. Which truck are we talking about?
I know, there's a bunch of different trucks.
I've got a few. I've got one of them in the shop right now, that 454. It's in the shop now, brakes put on.
He said, you should do videos of you repairing the truck with no brakes. He's got somebody else doing it.
Uh-huh.
We got the guy down the road doing it.
Yeah, I've been too busy. I can't get to it.
But they're getting it.
They're getting it.
Now, we're down here today. We are working on the jailhouse across the street. So you're seeing it. See Donnie's truck over there parked in front of it? We would show you what's going on in there, but that's a whole other video series we're filming right now. And we're also finishing up this side of the grocery store. The videos for it will be starting in about a week, I think.
Maybe a week and a half.
Something like that. So this side we'll be doing pretty soon, but the other side we have finished. So there's a couple more videos for that side, and then we'll be over here showing you what we have done on this side and the shape it was in when we started and the shape it's in now.
What all we tore up.
What all we tore up and the improvements we've made. He said he donated his hearse to Make-A-Wish Foundation. They needed brake lines, but otherwise it was in good shape. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that hearse, but that's just a little too big for us.
Yeah. The hearse would be cool at some point.
They can't get a good view of the town. We were thinking, people, you know how we put this wall in over here because we made it back how it originally was. The only thing, whenever we did that, it blocked off the view because it used to be if you stood in here, you could see out these windows and then also out those windows. But now you can't because the thing's in the way. So we were thinking we could have just put like a big window in the wall there. You notice we ran an electrical down the wall so that they'd hide it a little bit. Hey, 80. And but now you can't see as far, but that's all right. That's how it originally was, and we'll make more money renting it this way with two buildings instead of one. So that's what we think was the right choice.
And nobody in this town really needs a big building right now.
Yeah.
There's not enough industry here to support a huge building.
Yeah, exactly. So if anybody's got any questions, let Donnie know. He'll be happy to answer them. Nothing about his love life, though. He said he's waiting on the book for that. He's going to do a horrid tell-all book, a bestseller. He may just have it published in the newspaper or something.
Yeah, hell, short series.
OSCRC says, Donnie, any good fish restaurants in the towns down there?
Any good what?
Fish restaurants.
Yes, there is. There's actually two. There's a smokehouse.
Hey, Jason.
that's about 3 or 4 miles this way. And there's the Golden Nugget, which is right across the street from us.
The Golden Nugget. We could show them that. Go introduce them to the Golden Nugget, Donnie. Well, you just stand right there. We'll get it.
It's that end building down there, the Golden Nugget.
Look at it in all its glory. The Golden Nugget down there. They're closed right now. That place used to be a department store way back 100 years ago, and then after that it was a somebody said a car. What kind of was it? Ford?
It was a Chevrolet.
A Chevrolet dealership. Hey Darren,
But I don't know.
say hi to the UK, Donnie.
Hello, UK. How are you?
Do you know what UK means?
Yes.
Okay. UK. The United Kingdom. It's England and Scotland.
That red building.
Scotland, England and Ireland. They're gonna kill me.
That red building down there, that used to be a post office.
He said he misses the upstate New York fish fry. The red building used to be a post office.
That brown building there used to be a grocery store.
Grocery store, and then the white building was the sister of the guy that owned the grocery store, and it was a sewing shop.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Golden Nugget down there on the end, they do a lot of like fish and stuff. So that's where everybody eats around here.
Emily's is pretty good also.
Oh yeah, this little place here is Emily's. It's real small inside, so there's just enough for a few people to sit down inside of it.
She does breakfast and lunch. Does pretty good.
Yeah, she does breakfast and lunch, but no dinner. Because she can, that's why. She does pretty good too. So, I can't show them the rest of the building behind me here, because then they'll see the work that we've done. Mike says, when was the village founded?
It says it was 1839, I believe. Is that what it says up there on the?
No, 1904 or something.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, Mike, nobody knows. Nobody, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Nobody around here really cares much about looking into stuff like that. So we've looked into it. And on the front of the building, it says that it was incorporated in 1904, which might be true. But we found letters and stuff. I've got a copy of a letter that a soldier wrote while he was here in like 1830 or something like that, and he was calling it Jefferson then, so I don't know how long it was Jefferson. OSCRC wants to know about the Great Hole of Jefferson.
The Great Hole of Jefferson.
Mike, yeah, people were there before the town. It was founded by the Miller family, basically. They had a cotton gin down here.
Basically, that Great Hole of Jefferson, we was backing a truck over there to offload some stuff off of it, and the front tire fell through the hole.
We didn't even, yeah, it fell through the ground. We didn't even know there was a hole there.
So we moved the truck, and I got a flashlight, started looking, and it goes down for however long. And I get a brick and throw in the hole, and it takes it 4 seconds to hit the bottom.
Hey, reenact you throwing the brick into the Great Hole of Jefferson. So this is on our first day. Now do the sound effects so they know how long it took. It was like that long.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So that hole's like at least what? How big are we going to make this story?
I put a 30-foot tape measure down in there and couldn't hit the bottom. So.
And it wasn't where we fell through. What's up, Artie? Artie says, "Sup, fellas." Where we fell through was like right here. And when you look down in there, the hole was actually over here. Mike says it'd be cool to lower a camera down in the Great Hole of Jefferson and see inside.
Well, there's a little problem with it.
Yeah. Donnie saw a hole and decided he'd take care of that. And it wasn't even his property.
The holes.
Hey, Teuton.
People are backing
Touting.
up this hole with a Ford F-450 right over top of it, putting stuff in this building when it was a grocery store. So I come over here and talk to the guy and say, look, there's a hell of a hole out there, and we just fell through it. Your truck's sitting on top of it. It's liable to collapse at any minute. So he hauls around and moves his truck. So at the time, we was doing another building over here, and we was putting a roof on it, and it had a bunch of clay tile down the side of the roof. So we took it all off and threw it in the hole.
Yeah.
To fill the hole up.
So we used we threw some clay and concrete and brick.
And then we started breaking up the back of that building. We had a bunch of broke up brick. We threw it all down in the hole.
Now, this was after we spoke with the mayor. We had the mayor come out and look at it.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yep.
And
Biggest thing in town.
the mayor said that we could fill it in. It wasn't even on our property. He said to fill it in, but now it is on our property. So we may have to excavate it, and Donnie might pull everything back out of it. Hey, Mike says a mine. It could be a mine.
It could very well be a mine. This town got established from a gold mine right down the road here.
I just told him it was established from a cotton gin.
It's a gold mine.
Yeah, but there was the cotton mill's right down there.
The cotton mill's there, but the gold mine's there.
There is a gold mine here in town. There is gold in this area. So maybe, but I think it was a well was what I think it actually was.
Yeah, I think it's.
We have some proof that it may be. I'm going to do a whole video on it.
It's a perfect circle, and it's about 8 or 10 foot diameter, probably.
Yeah, it did look like a perfect circle. So for a while, we thought maybe it was a tank that was buried or something, but it was way too deep. You know.
Somebody said way back, well, it's been stated way back when, this property was a gas station.
Yeah, at some point.
In the 20s, I guess, or 30s. So we figured maybe they had a buried tank out there, but if it was a buried tank, it'd have to be standing on end down in the ground.
Yeah, so.
It don't make sense. And everybody says call a locate. There ain't no damn locate down here. There's 750 people in this town.
Yeah.
There's one person that knows where every utility is, and if he don't know, nobody knows. Mm-hmm. So when you call 811, all they do is call the local people and have them people come out here. So
and we already asked them if they knew what it was.
we asked them, and they said there's no utilities, no water, no sewer, no nothing back there. So
it's Tommy. We would have had to call Tommy, and we already. You'll see him in a later video. You'll meet Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy is in the video.
We've already filmed him for a cool video we got coming up. So we're going to this coming week. We're going to finish up the other building. We had to paint the floor after we did the concrete.
Paint poles.
Paint the poles. Hey, Trey. Trey says, hey.
Hey.
Paint the poles, and then see if we can get a tenant in there.
Yeah, we got to do all that in a week.
Mike says there's got to be a HD GoPro on a line you could explore that with. We could, Mike, but we filled it in. We think most of it's filled in. Darren said, can you not get rid of them poles, Donnie?
I could, but it ain't worth it. I mean, you'd have to re-engineer the whole thing. There's a steel I-beam in there that's holding up the roof. Back. Basically, the joists start on one side and they break on that pole. Break on this I-beam, and then they go over there and break on that wall and so on and so forth. So you could get rid of it, but you would have to move the door off center and re-support over here and put a bigger I-beam down the center and re-support behind the back door, and it ain't worth it.
Yeah, the poles are a little bit of a pain, but the thing with these buildings, it may look like we're spending a whole ton of money on these buildings, but we're really not. We bought them inexpensively, and then we're doing a lot of the work ourselves. We got some guys that we hire that help us on the weekends that do it too, but we're not spending a fortune on these buildings, so something like that would probably be a little bit out of our financial scope. Darren says, what about box them in? That's a funny comment for today.
Yeah, that's a funny comment. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
We could box them in, absolutely, but then you just make a bigger footprint.
Yeah, we could box them in, Darren, and maybe we are boxing them in other buildings. Well, that's all we'll tell you. As a matter of fact, we might be doing that today, but not in this building. Darren says, laughing out loud. Hey, everybody, if you got any questions for Donnie, just type them into the chat, and if I see him, I'll ask him.
Where was that going now?
You're talking about boxing stuff in, but the bigger footprint.
Yeah, bigger footprint, but, the only reason to box them in is if they would look better. And they're still in the way.
Nivag Swerdna says, who's older, Donnie or Ronnie?
Ronnie is.
I am. Trey says, when are you going to be in front of the camera? I am. There I am. Okay. Hey, Ronnie, how you doing? That's our brother.
From another mother.
OSCRC says, is Donnie a farmer as his main job?
No, not as my main job. I'm a small engine mechanic as my main job. I do have animals. I do some farming, I guess, if you call it that. I've got cattle and I've got goats.
Mike said, is that Lonnie?
Absolutely.
That's Lewis. Lewis is our guy. We got 3 different guys that help us out on the weekends, and they're cool, man. They work hard. They do a good job. They always got a good positive attitude. We love working with them. They're like our brothers.
That's where I was going. Money. We don't go out and drink. I don't smoke anymore. None of us smoke, none of us drink, none of us raise hell, none of us blow money, so we play with this on the weekend.
The Gnomesteaders, and he says, Donnie, what are you doing?
Hey, Mr. Gnomesteader, how are you? I'm glad your channel's coming along there, buddy.
If
Keep up the good content.
If you guys aren't subscribed to the Gnomesteader yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. He's cool, man. He kind of does look like a gnome, though, but I don't think he's as small as a gnome.
Hey, did you see his video yesterday or earlier?
Which one?
The one he had to go to the laundromat to get water. He ain't got no run of water on the place. He's toting water.
I didn't see that.
He's got to get propane, water, and gas to survive the night because it's cold as hell up there.
Artie says, Donnie, are you setting up shop in any of these buildings, or is it strictly for side income?
It's strictly for side income at this point. Maybe later on I'll set up shop in one of them, but not as of right now. Like I said, there's only like 750 people in the town. So
Yeah.
that's the problem with the little town. There's not a lot of income down there at the moment. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of work.
Yeah.
So,
Tell them about the mill, Donnie, so they know why things are as they are. Hey, Mike.
there was a mill right down here at the end of the road. It was a fabric mill that made, I guess they made,
I think they made T-shirts.
anyway, they made something, some kind of fabric, or dyed some kind of fabric maybe. But it went to Mexico. When
Yeah.
it went to Mexico, the town dried up. That was about 2000, I guess.
I think it was 2002, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around 2000, it dried up, and
All of this downtown area had a bunch of businesses, actually. There was probably 15 different little buildings open. And basically this street here, now many years ago, 25 years ago, when you drove to Myrtle Beach from Charlotte, you drove right past the front of this building.
yeah, you had to drive right through town.
You drove right through town. So all of these buildings were kind of hopping and jumping back in the 90s. And it had kind of, this town was like a cotton town back in the 1910, 1920s, 1930s. And so they were hopping, man, they had all kinds of stuff going on. And they held on to it really till about the 90s. So as of the 90s, it was still, there was a lot going on in this town. Well, not a lot, but for local, And then the mill went out of business, and they had about 500 employees or something like that.
Right before that, the gold mine went out too in the early 90s. They had a spill over there.
Yep.
They went out, lost 100 jobs. And then the cotton mill, not the cotton mill.
Hey, Robert. Hey, Mike.
Some Braco down there went out.
Yeah. And then the other thing that happened was they built a bypass around the town. So now when you go to the beach, you don't have to drive through town. You drive around the town. Nobody even knows it's here. But it used to be back in the days of NASCAR. Hopper says the same thing's happening here. I know, man, it sucks.
It'll come back if you can wait on it.
Yeah. So we're going to put some reasons that people have to come downtown.
Well, that's the trick. If you have a business anywhere around here that people come to you, then this town's perfect.
Yeah.
If you can make your own
Traffic
or clientele, we've got it.
Darren says, how many other buildings have we yet to see you work your magic on?
6.
About 6, yep. So
Pretty close.
Yeah.
5.
So we're filming a bunch of stuff though, but you'll see those as time rolls on. We're about to finish up the one side of the grocery store, and then we'll show this other side of the grocery store. And then today we're actually working over in the jailhouse as well. Jason says, how close is your building to Joe's video game store?
60 miles,
Yeah.
65 miles.
Trey says Amazon's killing all small brick and mortar buildings. Yeah, we're in Jefferson, South Carolina today, but our store, the video game store, is actually in Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is a much bigger city.
And see, that's another twofold. We use a couple of our buildings here as storage for supporting that business in Rock Hill.
Exactly.
So,
In my head, hey buddy, how you doing? He says, how are you guys doing today? That's our buddy. Did I tell you about the guy that's a big Kiss fan? He's got the channel with all the Kiss stuff. He's in. We're doing good, man. We want to rock and roll all night and party every day. But what were we talking about with the?
Talking about supporting one business with a couple of these buildings down there.
Yeah, he gives us the rock and roll fingers. Yeah, man.
When this was the only this was the only street, everybody used to stand here. And
Oh, yeah.
Darlington is just right down the road, which they have the Darlington race down there.
Or they did. So NASCAR, you know, when it was a big thing in the 90s, the part of our problem is we don't have pictures of some of the buildings. Nobody ever took any pictures of them. But the NASCAR race used to be in Darlington, and all of the teams coming from Concord and stuff would drive right through here on the way to Darlington. So people like Dale Earnhardt and stuff would drive right through town. So whenever that was going to happen, all of the kids would get outside and sit on the sidewalk, and they'd pull up and they'd stop their car haulers and everything right in the middle of the street and get out and give the kids T-shirts and hats and autographs and little Hot Wheels cars and all that stuff. And so a lot of people, hey, the Homesteader said, I get bored or run out of things to do, I'll come give you a hand, Donnie.
All right,
We'll wait for you, buddy. But so there are actually pictures of downtown because people took the pictures of the race car teams when they came through.
But they seem to not have them right now. We seem to not be able to find them.
Yeah.
So we'll ask somebody and they'll go, oh, we got that.
Mike said that was social media back in the day. Yeah. Social media looked a little more like this. Hey, Masato K says, love you guys. Trey said, how long did it take you to pick up that sack of sand with the forks on your...
It took forever.
I thought that was one of our best videos. It was hilarious. It was full of tension and anticipation. Well, and then he got out and he looked so serious when he was bending that little thing down so that he could get the fork to fit in it.
That bag of sand is right behind you.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Now half of it's gone. Where'd the other half of it go, Donnie? Oh, okay. It's in that wall. All right.
The problem with that is that skid steer I'm in, I put a lawnmower motor in it. So it's already wore out when I got it. So you get out of it and the thing creeps backwards, it creeps to the side, the boom's falling all the time, so you're trying to hold your foot on it to keep it level.
Artie said, hey, a small town needs a machine shop.
There is one.
Yeah, there's one down the road a little bit.
There is one down there.
There's also a sawmill down there where one of our buildings we put a whole ton of wood in, and there's a sawmill down the road we get all the wood from here locally, so that helps us out too.
Yeah.
You can't get treated, but you can. We got this one building we've been working on that has big old 2-inch, like true 2-inch lumber, you know, not 1.5 inch, 2-inch, the old school stuff. And we have the sawmill cut it, and he cuts it whatever size you want it, man. Drag it down there and put it in.
Yeah, that's a problem probably nobody really thinks about. We're dealing with 2x10s or 2x12s or 4x6s, and they're actually 4x6 or 2x12 or 2x10, and you can't buy them.
Yeah.
You go to Lowe's or Home Depot and they laugh at you. You have to go to a sawmill and have it custom cut just for you, and then you got to go find a tree somewhere, cut it down, take it to them. I mean, it's a pain in the butt. But we save a lot of money on it.
They're telling us we should start up an arcade down here.
The problem with the arcade is the stickers.
In South Carolina, there's some legal reasons you can't do it too easily. You'd have to open a bar kind of or charge admission. It's a big pain. You can't really put an arcade and take quarters.
Yeah.
Because of licensing reasons and stuff.
Yeah, it costs too much.
So
you'll never get your money out of the machine that you have to pay for the fee.
But something to think about, though. It may become feasible one of these days. You can basically, it's because of the gambling laws in South Carolina. They made poker machines illegal when they brought in the lottery. And so the operators just started making machines that weren't really poker machines, but you could still gamble on. So then they just made it where you have to pay this license fee on anything with a video monitor in it. So that anything like that is basically, they consider it a gambling machine and they get money off of.
That's why if you go to Ronnie's store, 90% of his machines are turned off.
Yeah.
You gotta turn them on just for you to play.
Yeah, it's like, because they come in and say, why don't all these have a sticker on it? It's like, well, I've got 50 machines in here and the sticker is $250 a year. I ain't doing that.
Yep.
Gnomesteader says, sounds like Alaska. You can get 2x4s or whatever you want, whatever size you want, if you get them off of the mill. Exactly. That's the way to do it.
That's the only way to do it around here. Well, it's not the only way. And nobody does it anymore.
Yeah. Hey, X says, howdy.
Howdy.
OCSRC says, is the ghost a real thing or a running joke? What do you think, Donnie?
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal. I am going to have video proof of the ghost this Wednesday. So I have a video going up tomorrow on the pinball machine, the flip-flop, and then Wednesday there's a flip-flop video machine, a video going up. I have caught the ghost on tape. You're not even going to be able to deny it. Everybody is going to admit that's a damn ghost. I got it on tape. You'll see. Now, I don't have a picture of the ghost. I have the ghost doing something. Something moves for no reason. And I caught it on tape. It's on Wednesday's tape, so make sure you see that. So, Soup Can says, watch it. It's going to be Ronnie in a sheet.
What is it with us buying buildings that used to be mortuaries?
Yeah, we have bought so many buildings that, well, only 2 really.
That sells caskets or mortuaries?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Darren says it's because you're buying them dead cheap. Yep. Boy. So anyway, we figured we'd just answer some questions and go live. We can't show you the rest of the building. JSS Dalton says the ghost is real. People believe, Donnie. They know that everything you're told, you have to look at it yourself and make up your own mind. You can't believe everything you hear.
Nothing you see.
And about half the things you see. OCSRC says, I will be looking for it. I have seen a few things I can't explain right after my neighbor died. Yep. So look for that Wednesday. Everybody will have a good time. Now, people, if you're looking for me to solve the problems of the world with the video Wednesday, that ain't going to happen. But it's kind of a neat video. You might like it. Gnomesteader says, I got a George, but his name is Dennis. It happens. So there's some other stories in the town here. This town, like every town, has a history, and there's some people have died and things like that. So we'll tell you some of those stories in some of the videos to come. But yeah, the George thing's in Rock Hill, though. That's in the video game store. He's our haunted. Have I told you about George, Donnie?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. Masato K says he's been ghost hunting for 10 years. He looks forward to it. Yep. Mike says, make Jefferson a ghost town. We're trying to make it a live town, but it's...
All we got to do is just leave for a couple hours and it'll be a ghost town.
Trey says maybe the ghost likes video games. Yeah, he was he used to be a customer. He used to come in, George. He liked the driving games. I told the whole story of them in one of the things. I think it was in the hard driving video.
They said when that mill was going down on the other end of town, they gave everybody in town free water.
Yeah.
Paid for the police department. Paid for. There was all the mayors and the officials and everything just from their water bill down there.
Yeah, they used a lot of water at the plant.
That's crazy.
And the plant still sits there. They're hoping somebody will buy it and open it back up, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
But I didn't finish my story, I guess. In the 90s, whenever the plant shut, or in 2002 or whatever, whenever the plant shut down, it was sad, man, because all of the little buildings started shutting. Like the jail was an insurance company at the time. It went out of business. And then this place was a movie rental place. It went out of business. Across the road was
An actual bank.
yeah, the actual bank went out of business. In my head says, I told you about the ghost of a little girl and old woman in my house. He was telling me about that when he was down there the other day. But, X wants to know if you're done renovating. All finished up.
I ain't going to be finished no time soon.
Yeah, we're going to keep working it. We are finished with the other side of the grocery store, so we'll show you a video of that soon. But we're over here on this side of the grocery store now, but this week we'll you'll probably see the last of the videos for that side over there, and then we'll get over here and start working on this side.
Are we going to call this the grocery store?
This side is the flower shop.
This is actually the old flower shop.
Should we show them our numbers out front?
No.
Oh.
We got to turn around and see you decide to do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could do it. I could angle it.
On both sides?
I think so. All right, so we're about, he says, what color is the floor? It's gray right now. We'll see what color it ends up being. Maybe. Trey said, did you fix the concrete floor? He didn't watch the newest video yet. You're going to have to watch the newest video to see. But yeah, this side we are now forever calling the flower shop.
Yo, it was a grocery store and it had that hole in there and they was using both sides. But before that, it was a movie rental and they was using both sides. But before that, it was a movie rental on that side and a floor shop on this side. And then it before that, it was a grocery store over there, or a meat market.
Yeah.
I guess it's meat.
Well, he said they had groceries too up front.
Grocery store, meat market, and this side was a flower shop. So
Yeah.
that's why this one's going back to the flower shop.
So we're calling this one the flower shop now. We call that one a grocery store. We called the one across the street there the jail, because that's what it originally was. The one down the road we called the post office, because that's what it was back in the 50s. The one next to it, one of those we call, the Reese Gallery, because whenever we moved down here, that was the name of it. The people that rented it were the Reeses.
Then we got the Jefferson building, and we got the old green building.
Uh-huh.
We got a bunch of them. Silent building.
All right, folks, well, we're going to sign off. I could get Donnie back to work. He's making our friends back here work their butt off, and he's just standing around talking. I wonder who he learned that from. What, who? Me? Oh, hell no, come on. I didn't have nothing to do with that. I work hard. I just can't run the camera and work hard, people. Come on.
Did you see that? I didn't even have to say that, just point. He did it all himself.
The guy says when his pop bumper activates, another coil fires, or something like that. A lot of times that's because some of the switches that fire the coils are too close together. So when the pop bumper fires, it shakes the playfield, which makes the switches touch and they fire. So you think it's an electrical thing, but it's actually a physical thing. So, all right, folks, they're all saying goodbye. I guess they're all leaving us.
All right.
Hey, here comes one of our other brothers here.
Yep, no.
Here comes Jaime.
Jaime, we're live.
Jaime, you're live on YouTube.
Hello, amigos.
He's been working hard today. He's doing brick. I mean, he's doing a great job, like usual.
All right, y'all, we're going to get back to work.
All right, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you on tomorrow's video. Masato says, when's Joe making a channel? He doesn't like to be on camera or film stuff too much, so probably no time soon, but he might eventually. But he helps us behind the scenes. So a lot of the arcade games and stuff he works on before I get there, and then I film them in the evening, but he's already done it. Look, he's still in some of your sand, Donnie, that you went through so much trouble getting in the building. I guess we're going to use it all. All right, thank you, folks. We'll see you next time. There'll be a video up tomorrow on both channels, so we'll see you there. Have a good one. Say bye, Donnie.
See you later.